Howdy folks, Tex Grebner here with Tex Grebner Outdoors. I hope you guys are ready for your Tex Grebner Outdoors Saturday morning cartoon awesomeness. I know it's been a while. But I never quit making videos. I'm always filming, but it takes time for me to compile the footage because this isn't my day job anymore. I'm always filming. You're always going to get a summer video and you're always going to get Illinois Archery season. However, speaking of which, who knows, maybe this might be the year that I break the whitetail curse. But I will say that summer 2024 has been a pretty adventurous summer. So in this video, you're going to get to see my spear and bow fishing adventures, as well as some of my backyard shenanigans, because I was making it weird before it was cool. Yes, I am still working out, but I carry the sins of my life with me. Now, if you're in the market for some high-end hunting ammunition between 30-06 all the way up to 505 Gibbs, or you want to take a 12 gauge and make it be able to kill a rhino, check out my friends over at REA Ballistic Engineering. They're in stock and shipping around the clock. If you're looking for a discount on all your trad life supplies, use the code Tex Grebner in your checkout at Three Rivers Archery on orders over $100. And it will give you a free shipping discount when you use my code. Three Rivers has their own code, but if you use my code, it shows your support for Tex Grebner Outdoors here on YouTube. And I really do appreciate all of you that watch. I was born in '87 and I grew up rural, so even though I'm technically a millennial, quote unquote, I feel like I'm honorary Gen X, because if you're a rural millennial, you had the 90s, but you had the childhood of an 80s kid. And obviously I came of age in the early 2000s. But the reason that I'm bringing this up is that it's very important to me never to lose my inner child. Because I was a feral farm kid, but I was also a fantasy nerd. And as a neurodivergent boy, growing up in the 90s and coming of age in the early 2000s, they would civilize you. Like pre-age of acceptance, they would civilize you by force. It mattered less that you were happy, and it mattered more that you fit what they, the amorphous they, what they defined as normal. So as a grown-up, even though I don't make as many videos as I used to, it is very important to me that I never lose that inner child, because I spent most of my young adult life and late childhood fighting for who I was. Because obviously, feral farm kid plus neurodivergent fantasy nerd. And I don't think people understand the level of persecution that went on when it was more important for you to be, quote, normal. Everyone has a hard life in their own way. And now I hear all about people that are being adult diagnosed on the autism spectrum and being diagnosed as attention deficit disorder and ADHD. And they're always like, I wish I knew back then. And the rest of us that had it back then and got diagnosed were like, no, you didn't. No, you don't. You did not want to be one of us special ed kids, because the system was set up way different back then. Be glad you flew under the radar. Now, me, I had a really hard time learning how to read. The reason that I bring this up is because I firmly believe that at a time in our history, what we now call attention deficit disorder was very much advantageous. Because I had a really hard time learning how to read because I couldn't sit there and focus on words on a page long enough to learn how to read them because of my rapid eye movement through ADD. But you know what rapid eye movement's really good for? Picking these fish out of the water and putting sticks into them. So it's like having a superpower but being in the wrong timeline for it to actually be advantageous. I never quit making videos. I'm always filming something, just in case I can use it for something. But it takes time to accumulate the footage. So I never quit making videos, but my posting schedule has become extremely condensed to where I have Illinois Archery season in the fall, do that, accumulate the footage, process it, and then work on it all winter, post it when I get it done, and as soon as it gets warm enough that I think that there might be some rough fish down at the conservation area, go down and we're into accumulating film for a spearfishing video or a bowfishing video with obviously my backyard shenanigans mixed into both of those two seasons of the year. Now, I hate winter with a passion. And so as soon as I can get warm enough where I think that there might be some fish down in the conservation area, I am all about it. Now, for those of you that are curious about my gear in this video, what I'm using this past summer, I'm using a modified version of Tim Wells' Seahawk spear for spear fishing. And I'm bow fishing with a 70-pound Oneida Phoenix, which is way overpowered. It's more alligator tackle. But the thing is, you've got to find adventure somewhere. Even if it's just playing with throwing knives in the backyard. The world is a vampire, like the song says, and it will suck you dry if you let it. Now, of course, it's not all fun and games. I'm still helping out on the family farm, and livestock make their own plans. In bow hunting and in spear and bow fishing, you're at the mercy of the environment. Sometimes the river is up so high that I can actually wade around in the parking lot, and I did quite a bit of that this year. But other times, you've got like 12 feet that's 6 feet deep of silt in the bottom of the channel, and you can't actually get an arrow or a spear to the fish that are swimming around out there. Now, this is one of the greatest ironies of my life. Whiley Coyotee is my spirit animal. I've got skills like these, unlike this fantasy character that is living in the most boring apocalypse known to literature. I'm like somebody's NPC in their RPG. But that is my life. However, I am very proud of what I do. Of course, I always tell myself I'm gonna buy a boat. I'm gonna get like a 10 or an 8-foot polymer John boat that's like 150 pounds, easy to maneuver around out of the water, so that when the river is up, I can just put it in the parking lot and actually have a camera on a tripod and my GoPro and everything. But then when the river is down, I can just drag it along and I can actually push it out onto the silt and not go down in the quicksand. But I will say, adventure is where you find it, but the summer is winding down. And I'm starting to get into Illinois Archery season mode. But obviously, still making it weird in the backyard. People talk about maladaptive daydreaming as if it's a bad thing. But I think that being able to maladaptive daydream and be able to engage in fantasy amongst the mundane is really important. People all talk about now, oh, you need to be mindful, you need blah, blah, blah. No, I'm not a vapid person. I don't need to be mindful. I am mindful all the time. My mind is always full. I don't need to be mindful. I need an escape. And I'll be damned if you take that away from me and make my inner child sound like a bad thing. Because without my inner child, I wouldn't be able to do what I'm able to do. And I hope that you guys have enjoyed watching. Well, here we are in September. I've got squirrels chattering up there at me. October 1st isn't that far away. It's highly unlikely that I'm going to be able to hunt opening day this year because I'm either going to be at work or we're going to be working cattle for the fall roundup. But it's almost time for the slow descent into madness, Illinois Archery Season 2024. Will this be the year that I break the whitetail curse? God knows I'm due. But hunting is a visceral mystery, and life ain't like the pornos, and hunting ain't like the TV shows. And honestly, when it comes to my bow fishing and my spear fishing, every year I tell myself, I'm going to buy a boat. I'm going to make this a priority. I'm going to buy one of those Sun Dolphin polymer John boats. And what I should have done was bought it when it was like $250 instead of like $950. But I guess we'll see by next year if I actually do finally buy a float boat that I can stand up and throw my spears out of and push out on the marshes where I don't have to worry about the quicksand underneath. But I hope you guys enjoyed watching this week's episode of Tex Grebner Outdoors. As always, God bless all my sportsmen of America. Join the NRA to protect our rights. Please come, my friends, over at threeriversarchery.com. Thank you very much to those of you involved in law enforcement and those of you serving in the military. And thanks for watching Tex Grebner Outdoors.